Oh, hey everybody, how you doing? I'm so glad you're here because you have arrived just in time for story time. And I have a question for you. Have you ever heard of a story about how Mufasa and Arabi became good friends along with Zazu? Well, I'm going to tell you a story about the time when Mufasa met Zazu and how he became good friends with Zahu and along with Narabi. Do you want to hear it? All right. Well, I debut The Lion King, Friends in Need. Hope you enjoy it. Once upon a time, when the Pride Lands were new and the great Lion King Mufasa was still growing, he came upon a little bird in big trouble. The bird was a hornbill named Zazu, and he was about to be cooked by some hungry young hyenas. Uh-oh, sounds like trouble. Zazu is about to be cooked by hyenas. What do you think? Shall we see what happens next and how Mufasa scared the hyenas away? Let's see. Mufasa gave a mighty roar. Well, it wasn't a very mighty roar because he was still a small lion. But it was mighty enough to frighten all the young hyenas. The little bird introduced himself with a grand bow. Then he said, "Thank you for saving my life, Mufasa. I hope that one day I may be a service to the future Lion King." Proud Mufasa laughed to himself. How could such a little bird be of any use to a lion? It looks like Zazu is getting to know Mufasa. And I think Mufasa might have a little trouble about being friends with Zazu. Oh well, let's see what happens next. But the little bird was determined to help somehow. So he hovered over Mufasa day and night, and wherever Mufasa went, Zazu followed. I think Zazu is following Mufasa around everywhere, because he's desperate to have a friend. What do you think? Shall we see what happens next? Mufasa began to feel as if he has grown a second shadow. "Go away!" the young lion roared. But Zazu shook his feathered head. "You helped me," he said. "Now I must help you." "But you are ruining my hunt," Mufasa groaned. "I can help you hunt," Zazu offered. "I will fly up and tell you where the game is." But the sound of the little bird's wings warned the antelope away. I think Mufasa's getting a little annoyed about Zazu because he was just only trying to help. That's what friends do. What do you think? Shall we see what happens next? Zazu even hovered above Mufasa when he wanted to be alone with his future bride, Sarabi. While the two young lions strolled, the hornbill chattered. "I know everything that happens in the Pride Lands," he bragged. "I see it all from my bird's eye view. Why, over there, your brother Scar is teasing a mouse." "Can't you keep quiet for 1 minute?" Mufasa asked. "Of course," Zazu exclaimed. "Once I didn't say a word for nearly 3 days. It's a funny story, really. You see?" Uh-oh, I think Zazu is getting a little bit too annoying because Mufasa just wants some quiet time with Sarabi. What do you think? Shall we see what happens next? And on the chatter went, until one day, Zazu saw several vultures circling above a distant gorge. He pointed out the birds to Mufasa and said, "Shall I fly over to see what's happening, sire?" Mufasa yawned. "What does a future king care about ugly old vultures?" he asked. "There's probably just some small creature over there." Then he settled down for a catnap. I think Mufasa's only thinking about himself because he thinks he's so proud. But Zazu is just only trying to help. What do you think? Shall we see what happens next? Zazu was too curious to sleep, so he flew over to the gorge. As he got closer, the hornbill saw that the vultures were circling a deep pit, and at the bottom stood Sarabi. The lioness looked up at Zazu and cried, "I can't get out!" "I will help you," Zazu screeched. And with a flap of his shiny blue wings, he was off. Uh-oh, Sarabi's in trouble. Do you think Zazu will help her? I don't know. Let's see what happens next. Zazu flew to Mufasa as fast as he could, and Mufasa snapped wide awake the minute he heard Zazu's news and raced to the gorge to save his future bride. I guess Zazu's not alone this time. I think Mufasa's really gonna try to help Narabi the whole time. Shall we see what happens next? But once he had scared away the vultures, Mufasa didn't know what to do. If he climbed into the pit, he will be trapped too. "Sire, over here!" Zazu called. "You can toss down this tree trunk, and then Sarabi can climb up." Do you think that this is gonna work? Will Sarabi be free from the vultures? I don't know. Let's see what happens next. Mufasa quickly dragged the heavy trunk over to the pit. Then he lowered it down for Sarabi. In seconds, Sarabi climbed to freedom. She rubbed her soft cheek against Zazu and purred, "You saved my life!" "And you taught me a valuable lesson," Mufasa added. I wonder what valuable lessons that Mufasa learned today. Interesting. Shall we see what happens next? The Lion King needs to know everything that goes on in his kingdom, no matter how unimportant it might seem, Mufasa told Zazu. "I knew you'd come around, sire," Zazu began. "Why, it was only a matter of..." "I wasn't finished," Mufasa growled playfully. "I have also learned that no creature is so small that he cannot be useful in his own way. Therefore, when I am king, you shall be my advisor. You will fly over the kingdom, tell me everything you see, and alert me to anything that needs my immediate attention." I think Mufasa and Zazu are going to be really good friends after all, because friends are there when you need help. Let's see what happens next. And that is just what Zazu did for all the years of Mufasa's reign. "What do you see from out there?" Mufasa called to his new friend. Zazu chattered, "I see a bright future for King Mufasa and Queen Sarabi, and for their right paw advisor, Zazu the Hornbill." And from that day forward, Mufasa and Zazu and Queen Sarabi have all become great friends, and guess what? They still are to this day, because Mufasa learned that being friends means that if your friend's in trouble, you can help them. But also, friends sometimes can do annoying things to hurt their feelings, but it's the action that makes them mad. But everybody knows that a good person is still a good person no matter what they do, because this story is really about, well, friendship. And that's the end of the story. Well, thank you so much for coming for story time today. And please make sure you subscribe to my channel for more story time. And come again next time when we do some more story time adventures with me, Uncle Jason. Same story time and same story time channel. And always remember, being a good friend is, well, you're just being good friends no matter what they do. Because if you help them or they need your help, always remember to include them and do whatever it takes to be kind and helpful. Like Zazu and Mufasa and Sarabi. Well, until later, bye!